There we go, pitching into this Trials Cub, and I've already taken the bash plate off the bottom so that I can get at the crankcase strainer plug, which I've already taken out and checked, and there was nothing terrifying in there, no loads of metal filings or anything, so I blew that through and put it back in, and there was hardly any oil came out of the crankcase, so it wasn't wet sumped. No oil in here, as the owner told me that wouldn't be. The gearbox, I thought while I had the bash plate off, I might as well check on the gearbox oil, and usually you've got a combined drain and level plug like this here with this like standpipe affair in it, which is obviously for the level of oil that the gearbox is meant to hold. But instead of having a little nut in the middle like this one's got to check the oil level in the gearbox, the plug that was in there just had this, and someone's gone to great trouble to cut the standpipe part off and try and squash it flat. So it's just a drain plug. So apart from knowing how much oil the gearbox is supposed to hold and pouring that amount in from empty, there's not really any way that they could have checked on the oil level and topped up as required. So I've found one here, old used one that's in good enough shape to use, so I'm going to put that in, and then when the bash plate is off you'll be able to check on the oil level in the gearbox, which is no bad thing because there was hardly any oil in it as it happened. I've got the this sort of top tube that you can get. The Tiger Cubs, as they come, don't really have a crossbar or bracing tube there. They rely on the metalwork inside the fuel tank. There's like two strips of flat bar inside the fuel tank on a Tiger Cub, which make up the reinforcing point between the headstock and the nose of the seat. So if you want to use an alloy tank on a Tiger Cub like this one's got over there, it's very wise to put something between there and there that will brace up the frame a bit. Otherwise you might find that the frame can bend in this area, and this is quite a neat little thing that you can get actually. It's quite a common Trials modification. It doubles up as a top tube and also an oil tank, but it would appear that the oil capacity in it might be somewhat less than the original Tiger Cub oil tank. So anyway, I wanted to take this off because I'm going to wash it out, shake it around with some petrol in it, make sure there's no swarf or anything unpleasant waiting to go into the engine. As I've often said before, I like to treat an oil tank as if it's part of the engine, and I want to know what I'm starting off with. So I'll have clean oil of the right amount in the gearbox and clean oil as much as I can reasonably get in there for the engine. So we should be off to a good start, and I've already discovered it's got a Boyer electronic ignition of some sort. This one seems to be a Boyer alternator electronic ignition. I've not seen one quite like this before, but I've had the spark plug out and checked, and we've got sparks. Hopefully they might be at the right time. I've also taken the plug out the bottom of the carburetor there and found well, it looked like a load of cocaine or something actually, so whitish grey powder up to the main jet, so I've cleaned that out. I haven't taken the carburetor off yet. I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt, put this lot back together, put some fuel in the tank and just see what happens, and if it doesn't want to run then I'll take the carburetor off and take that to bits. But that's where we're at the moment, and obviously we'll have the gearbox filled with the correct amount of oil.